Oh, g'day, Mr. Fitz here. Hope you're going well. This short video, I'm going to show you a basic tutorial on how to model one of these rectangular blocks. So what I've decided to do is model this shape over here. So shape number 5. Show you how to do that in Inventor. Okay, so over in Inventor, let's create a new file. Every time you create a new shape, you need to create a new file. New. Always check under new, we're going to create a part. So this is a part. And make sure that you go to one that is in millimeters. So standard and go create. Okay, first thing we always do when we start a new part is to save our work. So let's save this somewhere where you can find it. For you, as a student, you should be saving all of your work into your H drive. This is my H drive, but equally you will have one. So you can click on the arrow, go down to your name. You should have a folder inside there called Advanced Tech, and then save your work into there. That way you can access it wherever you go. I'm just going to put mine onto my desktop, but you will put yours onto your H drive. Okay, everything starts with a sketch in Inventor. Click Sketch. Now it doesn't really matter which plane you choose because it's going to rotate the view to see it. So if I just click Sketch, XY plane, and I'm into my sketch here. Now, with my shape, what I'm going to do and what you need to recognize with each shape you model, you need to just create a basic first sketch. Now, I'm going to create a profile. So this profile here at the end is essentially what is common all the way through this part. So I'm going to sketch that. Now, you can start sketching just roughly, and it is good practice to start sketching from the bottom corner. So this is like your 0, 0, and I'm just going to replicate roughly the shape. Now, as you sketch, you'll notice that when I go to vertical or horizontal, these little icons pop up. And what the sketch tries to do as you build it, it tries to create what we call a constraint, which is like information as to what you're trying to do. So I want this line to be vertical. The next line comes off at a bit of an angle, then comes down, and then back to here. Now, at any point in time in your sketch, if you make an error, let's say you draw a line that you don't want, the first thing you need to do is press Escape on your keyboard. That gets you out of the line command. So press Escape. One thing you can do is press the Undo button or Control+Z on your keyboard. Or you can click on what you don't want and press Delete on your keyboard to remove it. So if you make an error while sketching, just press back or click on it and delete it. Okay, this looks okay. Somewhat of my shape. And now I need to start putting some information in. Now, I always encourage you to have a look through these constraints here first. So let's say, for instance, this line and this line were the same length. There is a constraint here called equal. So you can say that that line and that line is equal and it will make them the same. There's also ones here like horizontal and vertical. So you can check if your line that you've drawn is for some reason on a funny angle, but it should be horizontal. You can click on the horizontal and make it horizontal. Now, just beware these horizontal and verticals, when you hover over the line, you can see the dotted line that runs across the screen that indicates what it's going to do. Sometimes, depending on the plane that you choose in your sketch, these are actually back to front sometimes. So just take note, if you press vertical and it goes horizontal, then just undo and grab the other one there. Okay. Now, the next important thing is that with a sketch, you need to put in your dimensions. So 50, 20, I've got this 10 here as well. So what I can do is use the dimension tool. Now, the way this works is you can just click on a line Once you click, you need to drag your mouse down out the way and then click again. So it's click, drag, click. And here you can put in the dimension. So with that highlighted, I can just type 50. I don't have to write millimeters, just 50, because my units are in millimeters, and go OK. You'll see that it resizes my part, and sometimes it blows it out of the screen a little bit. So don't forget that this little area here is your view panel. If you click front in the middle here, it will zoom it in. Now, if for some reason you make a mistake and you rotate your page, these little arrows here rotate around. So if you click on home, you can see here that it's all three-dimensional. If I click on front, and I can also rotate it back to where it was. So you can use that to navigate. Right, let's finish it off. Click, click. This one is 20. Now, on my sketch here, I've got from this line to this line is 20. I know that that's 50. So let's just put that one there in. So I can go from, now you can go between two lines. So I can click line and then another line, and it will give me that dimension between the two. 20. What else do I have? Looking from here, 10 millimeters down. So I can make that there 10 millimeters. Click it out, say here somewhere, 10 millimeters. And at the moment, what I don't have, if any point in time you can click on your sketch and drag it. So you can click an endpoint or the line. If it allows you to drag it, that means that it's missing some information. So at the moment, this doesn't know the angle of this line here. Now, based on this, I'm just going to assume that that line there, that point, sorry, is along the same line as this. So I can actually put in a constraint here. Now what I can say is this one. This is called Coincident. And what I can say for that one is I can say that that point is on that line. And what that does is join together, or just to say that that point there runs on that line there. Okay, on your screen that should now turn all purple. When your sketch is purple, it means that it is constrained. In other words, it has all the information it needs. Okay, once you've done your sketch, you can finish your sketch, and takes you back out to this modeling mode. So inside a sketch, you can see now it's on my window here. So this is called our featured tree, and my sketch I've just built is here. You can edit this at any time by clicking with your right mouse button and going edit sketch to go back into it. You'll see when you're in sketch mode that this little finished sketch comes up. So this is a particular mode of the program that you can work in. So sketch mode, finish it to go back into our modeling mode. Okay, easy thing to do next is click on Extrude. And this generally picks up the profile that you have modeled. If it doesn't, you can click on the profile. It's really important that the Extrude tool only works if your profile is closed. So if you leave a little hole or a gap, it cannot extrude it. So make sure that you have it closed. Now on here, brings up this window. And this is a good little tool here to play around with. I can move this in two directions. I'm going to go this way, which looks like my shape. And I can type in 30 millimeters on here. You can change the direction of the extrude. You can also make it what's called asymmetric or symmetric, which means that the plane that it's on, you can go either way. Looks good. Okay. I can click on this orbit tool as well. This allows me to rotate it, and there we go, there's my shape. I can press save, and that saved that part. Well done. You've just modeled shape number 5. Very good. Now, I'm going to show you quickly in this tutorial how you might think about building the more complex shapes. So once you've got something modeled like this, this is a basic tool with a single sketch and a single extrusion. Now in the program, you can keep on building on your part. So what I can do is create another sketch. So at the bottom here, it tells me choose the plane to create a sketch on. So I might sketch on this face or wherever you like. I'm going to do a sketch on this face. You'll see it then rotates. You can click on top to center it. And I can go again and create another sketch. So I'm going to put in a rectangle from this corner. So click corner, click out here. And once I've done that, I'm going to put some dimensions on it. So I'm going to say that this line is 15 and this line is also 15. Now, if I wanted to do that differently, because these are both the same, I'm going to go back. What I can do is say that, use the equal tool and say that that and that are equal. Escape to get out of that command. And now you can see if I make it 10 or 20, it moves together. So leave that at 15. Now, once you sketch what you want, finish this sketch. Back in the modeling mode now, I can do another extrusion. And you can see that I can keep building on my part. Now, in this example, what I want to do actually is go the opposite way. I want to cut. I don't want to build that. So if you click on cut, it cuts through the part. And I can choose my depth. So you can drag this up by hand or you can type. So I'm going to go 10 millimeters and go OK. There we go. It's cut out a little pocket. So on the second line of my parts here, you'll see there that every one of these will require you to do 2 sketches. So you've got to build a base shape like you did on the top row. Then you need to create another sketch and another extrusion to either cut or add onto your part. Have a go. Try 2 of the bottom ones and keep playing. One final thing to leave you with. If at any point in time you press on this little button and you lose your model window, this can be returned by going View, User Interface, and Browser. That brings this back. And at any point in time, the beauty of this program is that you can go back in and you can modify what you've created. So under this extrusion, I can right click with my mouse. So right mouse click, go edit sketch to come back into the sketch. I can change that and finish it. So I might make that 20 and finish, and it updates. Or I can go right click, edit feature, and I can change the depth. So I might decide I'm going to change this to 5 millimeters and go OK, and it changes it. That is what we call parametric. So when you model, all the information you add can be later changed and it updates your model. That's one of the powerful things of this program. You can do a design, and if you've built it well, you can go back in and change it if it's wrong. Don't forget, save your work. Complete that, save it, and then you are welcome to continue on and build a new part. So if you want to build another shape, create a new part and repeat. You can do it. All the best.